pretty much when it comes to young entrepreneurs that are 17, 18, 19, 25, 30, 40-year-olds, they don't have to invent the product. They don't have to sit there and invent the light bulb. What's going on? This is Michael Barayev with Spitting Fire, and today, as you guys know, every single Monday, we come at you and spit fire and spit the truth and nothing but the truth. And today I got two special people sitting down with me, and one of them I know since the day he changed the world, since he came into this beautiful place, and that's my younger brother, Mr. Barayev, and he is 22 years old, okay? And then I got another special guy who I just recently got a chance to meet, and he is 17 years young, and his name is Vova Tess, okay? Say what's up to the guys.
What's going on, guys?
So listen, Vova Tess is a 17-year-old entrepreneur, and I got a 22-year-old entrepreneur. And as you guys know, I'm 27 years young, and we're excited to share with you guys on what these two young men have actually been going through, what they're developed, and what they're developing, and what they're gonna develop in the future, okay? So, a little background on myself. As you guys know, we have a marketing company. We do door-to-door, we do online sales, we do a bunch of different things. We do event sales. Now, we have our younger brother who's actually running two departments for us, okay? He's running the technician department with my other brother, and he's also running the door-to-door side as well, okay? So we're gonna ask him a couple of questions because we want you guys to think a little bit differently, okay? As a young entrepreneur, you're maybe 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, maybe you're 25 years young and you don't know what to do in your life. And these two kids are creating success at a very young age. They're not millionaires, they're not gazillionaires, but they're creating the right proper success, okay? And we're gonna get a chance to talk about that. But before we do that, let's talk a little about Vova, okay, because he's a special guest of ours. And let's ask you a couple of questions on who you are and what your background is all about.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you this. Who are you? Who is Vova Tess?
Give
us your background, how you grew up, and how was your childhood, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I grew up pretty middle class. At about 10 years old, I sold everything I could in my house, like Gary Vee style, on eBay, everything I could.
Garage sales? You go to garage sales or not yet?
Nah.
You can't do that in New York. You can't do that in New York. You might get mugged.
Yeah, maybe if I lived in like a rural area, definitely I would have done that.
So you grew up where?
Brooklyn,
New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty middle class area, not poor, not rich. But like if I asked my mom or dad to get me something, I wouldn't get it. I had to work for it. So that's where my, entrepreneurship tendencies came in. Fast forwarding, about 13 years old, I started a gaming channel. I love video games. I was making a couple $100 off that, probably made a few thousand over 2 years of just constantly uploading.
And how old were you when you developed these games? Developed this? So you were 13 years old, making a couple $100, almost a couple $1,000 cumulative, playing video games.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So
that's amazing.
I took my passion and I developed a business in it. There's esports players making millions of dollars a year now of playing.
I mean, it's crazy. I play video games too. I mean, nothing. As a matter of fact, we spend money. We spend money on video games.
On V-Bucks. Alright.
So what games did you play? Like Call of Duty, stuff like that?
Call of Duty and NBA 2K. Just made videos, how-to tutorials. They blew up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So basically, what I did, fast forwarding about 16 years old, I had a job as a lifeguard, which I absolutely hated. Hated that job. It was in the basement of a 24-hour fitness gym.
So it smelled like ass.
It did nothing. Literally, I hated it. It was just, I felt useless. So I sat there, and it had no service. It was in a basement, right? So I used to download YouTube videos of drop shipping gurus. I used to watch them like this in that pool. And nobody drowned that pool. That pool was open for like 30 years. Most that's ever happened was a paper cut. They told me I could bring a book. That's where I read my first book that I ever read.
What's the book?
How to Win Friends and Influence.
Woo! By Dale Carnegie. Yeah. That shit smacks you up and says you need to learn how to deal with people. I gave that book to my other brother, and that book he printed out all the table of contents and put it all over his wall. From the age of 15 to like 17 years old, he just had it on his wall. That's an amazing book. Wow.
Yeah. Then I read Rich Dad Poor Dad that taught me like financial stuff. But from that, I learned dropshipping, but I wasn't always successful in it. So I saw it on YouTube. I saw young kids, and it's important because we see like, you know, the millionaires, the billionaires, but we're like, oh, that's kind of impossible. But when you see somebody like your age, 15, 16 years old, younger than you, making hundreds of thousands of dollars online, it's really motivating, and that's what motivates.
So you started watching these YouTube videos while you're in the lifeguarding, and you started to see that, wow, these people are making money. I want to do the same thing. I want to get out of here.
Absolutely.
And you were how old? 15, 16 as well?
Turning 17, 16 years old.
So this is not too long ago.
Yeah.
Because right now you're 17 years old.
Exactly.
That's amazing. You're not even 18. You're not even legal. You can't even work with us. That's crazy. But he's not even 18. He's 17 years old. So when did you start dropshipping? And for those that don't know what dropshipping is, can you explain to them what is dropshipping? Because a lot of people hear it, but they don't know what it is.
Yeah. So it's
Like, is it stuff dropping from the ceiling? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, so you take products from China that are really cheap, because in China they're really cheap, from AliExpress, which is like the Chinese Amazon. You take them, you put them on your Shopify website. So examples of really cool Shopify websites, I'm literally wearing it, Kith, Fashion Nova, Kylie Cosmetics, Gymshark are all Shopify websites. And you take products from China, you put it onto your Shopify store and use Facebook and Instagram to market them, and you make a profit off that.
Gotcha. So let me ask you a question. So you see these videos, 15, 16 years old, you see all these kids making all this money. Where did this idea come from that you said you can do it yourself? Because a lot of kids, they grow up with low self-image, low self-esteem. They don't believe in themselves. I was one of them. Like when I was 16, 17, I didn't really believe I was going to succeed. I wanted to, but I didn't have that belief level. So who was it that inspired you or believed in you when you were, 15, 16, and 17 years old right now?
And I just believed in myself. I saw people doing it, and I knew it was possible, and I kept doing it. I didn't really know somebody in person that was making millions of dollars, like really ever. But online,
So your family didn't really go against it, or not? They did not support you either. It was just kind of like in the middle, or?
I didn't even really tell them until it became like a big part of my life. I was just trying it, a couple $100, my own money that I got from that lifeguard job, summer job, birthday money, anything. Put that into a business.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this. So you started drop shipping through Shopify in when? When did you start that?
I found out about it February 2018.
So you just found out about it last year, not even almost a year and a couple of months ago.
Yep.
A year and a month ago. So Ty Lopez started talking about it.
Yeah, on my ad. He popped up on my ads. And how Facebook works, if you like press on an ad, you keep getting that ad.
They retarget you.
Yeah, they retarget you using other people who are interested in Ty Lopez videos. So thank God I clicked on that, because then I got different videos. And
So then basically you hit that video, you watched that video. Did you buy any programs with it, or you just kind of looked at it and just kind of kept it in the back of your mind?
From Ty Lopez, no, I didn't buy. I got a free thing. I learned that it was kind of interesting, but then I got more and more ads, and I was like, you don't need to buy anything. YouTube is out there. So I just watched free YouTube videos, and then to help me like actually learn the skill, I bought a course. And
how much was that course?
It was like $200.
Okay.
Nothing big. That course taught me the basics of Facebook ads. That taught me how to advertise, and then after I started doing my own thing, started making a little bit, couple $100.
So you were failing at first.
Oh, completely.
So when you started in February, you heard about it, so you jumped right in. Did you wait, or you just jumped right in?
Well, I saw like ads like before. I've always seen Ty Lopez and stuff, but actually started a Shopify store. Infinity War came out in Avengers, if anybody knows what that is. Marvel, and I started a Marvel themed store, and that's how that came about. Lost money, complete failure, and then I just started selling random things, anything that was trendy. That didn't really work out. Then I went later on, and eventually a product did pop off for me, which was a necklace in August.
So that was August of last year?
Yes.
So from February all the way to August, you were kind of playing around, making mistakes, losing a couple dollars here, nothing crazy going on. But August of 2018, something blew up. It was a little necklace you were starting to sell,
Yeah.
right? And how did that blow up?
So yeah, there was a really good ad with it, and I didn't like blow it up myself. It was already blown up, and I just hopped on the trend. So anybody heard of fidget spinners, right?
Yeah, fidget spinner. Everyone heard about
those blew up. Like if anybody who was selling them at that time, you didn't need to create it. You just hop on a trend. So everyone thinks, oh, I want to start a business, but you don't need to come up with a
crazy idea.
Like you could just do what's working. There was this guy with hoverboards. His name is Dan Fleshman. I'm pretty sure.
Danny Fleshman, yeah.
He's super successful. He took the hoverboard, made a little improvements to it, put LED lights on it, and made like, I think it was a couple $100 million. He used influencers like Justin Bieber and big influencers. He knows like the Kardashians and stuff. He has access to them, and he paid them lots of money to post it. He made a killing off it.
Gotcha. So pretty much when it comes to young entrepreneurs that are 17, 18, 19, 25, 30, 40-year-olds, they don't have to invent the product. They don't have to sit there and invent the light bulb. They just have to find something that's actually growing, moving in this, already successful in the marketplace, and just jump onto that bandwagon and create, do some advertising, put it on Facebook, Shopify, and stuff like that. So let me ask you a question. What is that process like? You're in school, I'm assuming, right? So you're still in high school. How do you still have the time? Because you're in school. Are you working in lifeguard, or you kind of quit already?
No, I quit.
So you quit that at that time, correct? So you quit that. So all the homework, you do the homework, then you start focusing all in on this drop shipping.
Actually, I quit when my Shopify started.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was August. It was like mid-August. I made like $1,500 in one day from Shopify, and made like $80 from a lifeguard job. So
Gotcha. So it was common sense, like which one am I gonna kind of pursue and put my time in? Okay.
My mom, even she saw I was making like thousands a day, and then I'm like, I'm quitting. She's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. I quit.
So your mom didn't want you to quit the lifeguard job?
No, she's like, it's consistent cash flow. This could end at any time, which it eventually did end.
Correct. But what are some things you learned from that? Because remember, the Shopify industry, the drop shipping, it's not like you can build something forever unless you have a brand, like you explained, right? So building a brand is important, like Fashion Nova. I'm assuming Keith has built a big brand. So for a guy like you, 17 years old, who didn't create a brand name for himself, how did you deal with the emotional of things going up and then losing that store, things going up and kind of losing that store? How did you deal with those emotions?
I mean, obviously, when a store dies, it's like the worst feeling. Like you're making consistent money, and then it just dies. But realize if you did it once, you could do it again and again and again. And finding these products that pop off, it's usually like common sense. Like Valentine's Day, let's say, was coming up. Mother's Day is coming up now. The summer's coming up. Bikinis sell every summer. Every single summer, there's a new trend that pops off, and that's...
So for someone that's new into this game, they have no idea. They have a computer, but they don't know where to go. They got YouTube, they're studying, but they don't know which product to pick. How would you recommend it to find, the right product to sell? Because there's a lot of different products out there, and there's a lot of different, things you can sell. Are you going to focus on expensive products, inexpensive products, or kind of like cheap products? What would be a smart decision for a young guy that's kind of like, hey, I want to build my own store?
First starting out, I would definitely not sell anything too expensive, just because you don't have the budget to scale further. My first necklace was like $1 on AliExpress. I was selling it for $20 on my site. So
wow, so it was like 20 times.
Yeah, but that's with the advertising and stuff. So it had
with the advertising, okay.
Less than 18, because with the shipping, less than $18 per purchase to make a profit. And then when it started going above that, I had to cut it.
Because you were losing money, obviously.
Yeah. But it's okay, because I made that money, put it back into a different product, and that popped off as well.
Gotcha. So let me ask you a question. A lot of times people don't want to tell people products.
Yeah.
So what are some of the products that people have, that are dead right now, that have created a lot of success outside of the hoverboards and the necklaces? What are some other key products that not only you have sold, but other people have sold that have created some massive success?
Yeah, I can talk about this now because Valentine's Day just passed. The Rose Bear, I'm sure all of you have seen it. It blew up on World Star and stuff like that. And World Star, it's a 22 million Instagram page, and it charges $3,000 for a post. And I paid that for a Valentine's Day product, and I made my money back. I didn't make anything crazy, but the people that did, I was kind of late into it, but the people that created a brand
around it,
those people made a lot of money.
So what else? I got stuck into it. I bought a little keychain with the anniversary date of my with my girlfriend.
I saw that. It didn't really work for me, but I know other people that
exactly. I paid what was it, $20, and then I find out that it was drop shipping, and I was like, oh man, I hope my thing doesn't come in 3 weeks.
And it came in 3 weeks.
I had a problem with this Chinese guy. His spelling was horrible. But
so the biggest thing you got to worry about in the drop shipping game is the customer service, right? You got to make sure that's building a brand. So that's what kind of what Fashion Nova did.
Yeah.
Fashion Nova, Keith, and all these different companies. All right. So let me ask you a question. So your biggest week in revenue, what was it? And explain to me how that story came about.
Yeah. Black Friday, literally the biggest time of the year. Usually sales quadruple during the week of Black Friday and Cyber Monday that weekend. It was a hoodie blanket. We called it the Snuggle, I believe.
I've seen that, the Snuggle, little snuggy thingy.
Yeah, it's like a hoodie and a blanket.
So if you're single, you want a little thingy?
I mean, we advertise it as like a family. You're watching Netflix and that type of stuff.
Okay.
So it's also the way you advertise. So I don't just, when you put an ad on, you don't just put a picture of the of the like the product. It's like a nice video that you make. You could either make it, order the product yourself and make it, which is harder. You could pay a video editor to find videos online, put a collage together.
Correct.
Or you could steal something.
Because the video has to create an emotional
Exactly.
reason for them to say, you know what, let me buy this, I need this right now. Because every time I'm watching Netflix with my girl or my family, I can't really have a good time because it's too cold, and it's just good to have a blanket. Boom.
It's like sales, but just
Well, drop shipping is definitely sales, right?
sales.
You're creating advertisements to entice the person that's actually on the other side of the phone to say, you know what, I need this right now. Now, if the product costs $2,000, they're probably not gonna buy it right now. They're gonna take some time and some decision making, maybe talk to their cousin, husband, whatever. So you wanna create products that anywhere from like, I think from $1 to maybe a couple $100, depending on what it is, so they can say, you know what, I need it or I want it right now. So it's a very big impulse buy, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, so how Amazon sells their products, when you guys go shop on Amazon, everyone shops on Amazon, you're searching for it. But when you're on Shopify, when you're scrolling through Facebook and Instagram and you see something you like, you don't necessarily need it, or you didn't know you need it.
Correct.
You saw it. You're like,
boom.
I need this.
And that's impulse shoppers. I mean, they really, if you think about it, you go to Instagram, you go to anywhere, and you see something,
Yeah.
and it's like, ooh, and you go, boop, Amazon it, boom, you buy it. I got suckered into that many, many times.
Yeah, you ever go to the mall, you go for like one thing, you come out with 10 things.
Yeah.
It's impulse buying.
I mean, usually that's what happens to a lot of girls. Like my girl, and then when I tell her go get me bread or go get milk, she'll come back with 12 bags. Oh, but you need this, you need this. I'm like, holy cool. What happened? I just wanted bread. So now I learned my lesson. If I need bread, I'm gonna go myself. You know what I mean? But so what was your biggest week in Black Friday?
$112,000.
Oh, $112,000.
Again?
17.
17 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was with a client. So that store died, so I could talk about it now. So yeah.
So what was that? So wait, so what do you mean it was a client?
Oh, so I did it with a client, with a partnership. I made him. So again, with my Instagram business, so I'm on Instagram. My Instagram is Vova Tess. And I just advertise myself as a, I guess, guru or a mentor in a sense on dropshipping. People pay me, or we go into a partnership together.
Gotcha. So they have the money for the advertising.
Yes.
And they want to pump a product.
Yeah.
You help them, and you kind of split the profits.
Yep, exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. That's
So
what I did with Black Friday.
So how many people are doing that right now?
How many like gurus are
Like, so to say, gurus that are out there doing that model, or they're doing it themselves? Because I haven't heard a lot of people do it that way.
Yeah, that's actually the first time.
Oh really? No, a lot of people. Some people are low key about it.
Maybe they're low key about it.
Yeah, some people advertise themselves. We're both trying to build a personal brand. And what dropshipping stores die, but what doesn't die? Vova Tess won't die, right? My name will hold value in the marketplace.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to build. Like,
So you learn from your mistakes, not to just build products and just sell. It's about building a brand so people know who you are.
Yeah,
So whatever product dies out, it's kind of like Macy's or JCPenney.
Yeah.
A fashion, a new sweater comes in, nobody likes it anymore, they just change the sweater, change the product.
yeah, if like, let's say Gucci comes out with a sweater, it's gonna get sales no matter what, just because it's Gucci, right? Even if it's ugly.
We got a lot of angry people out there, but it's all good.
Yep. So that's literally how you do it. You just gotta brand yourself as a product, and that's it.
That's awesome. So we got a lot of angry people out there on the outside, but they ain't gonna distract us, especially a guy like me who has AD to the D to the H. Just kidding. But, so you did $112,000 in revenue. Wow, 17 years old. So let me ask you a question. What is the future for Vova Tess? What is, and before we get to, to a chance to speak to some of the young guys, what is something that you're actually gonna, do in the next 12 months, 18 months? Because, creating a little bit of success, I mean, to be honest, at 17 years old, you created more success than most people at 25. Okay, most people don't even know how to make $100,000 a revenue in a year, yet alone in a week, right? So you did an amazing job. So you should be proud of yourself. But it's not just about doing it once, it's about doing it consistently. So what are some of your goals that you have in your life right now that you want to actually attain in the next 12 to 18, 24 months?
Yeah, I know a lot of people in like my industry, they build up brands for like, let's say they're doing a couple $1 million a year in revenue, which in a sense, like most businesses, they need a couple $1 million a year in revenue to succeed or to make profit. So they do that for like 2-3 years and then they sell it off. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a brand that's gonna, and I know people, and if you build a brand, you could get your stuff into Walmarts, Walgreens, all those big Targets, CVS's, to those companies. So that's definitely a big goal of mine. Building my personal brand online. Like, everyone should have a personal brand. If you're watching this, if you're a plumber, whatever you are, if you're a janitor, I mean, I don't know about a janitor, but whatever business.
Hey, maybe a janitor because he wants to go clean from office to office and business to business. You never know, baby.
Own an agency. You need a personal brand, and that's how. If you're a lawyer, like you need a brand of yourself, or else why wouldn't they go to so and so down the street who has a couple hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and has testimonials of clients and stuff like that.
So that's freaking amazing. That's awesome. And I'm gonna kind of switch it over to Daniel here a little bit because he's 22 years old, right? Now he's not really playing into the drop shipping game. He's more playing into the e-commerce game. He just started learning about Facebook ads and advertising, lead generation. So 22 years old, and you're also doing door to door. And you're also working as a technician, head technician for our company. So he's doing a lot of things at 22 years old. Most people at 22, what are they doing? Smoking that bullshit, right? We don't do that bullshit. Why? Because it doesn't get you anywhere closer to your dreams and your goals. And you might say, well, it gets me creative, a lot of bullshit. And I don't know if you do the bullshit, but it doesn't get you anywhere closer. Okay? I mean, don't tell me Snoop Dogg is successful, please. I hate when I hear that bullshit. Okay? Snoop Dogg could have done so much more if he didn't smoke. But anyway, go ahead. So let me talk about door to door, because this is e-commerce. This is literally going face to face. So you're going in front of thousands of customers a day because you're using the computer and the power of social media to leverage that. And you're actually going out there, slaving it away, which is fine because I did that as well. But you're creating the grit. You're creating the hustle mentality. You're earning your pillow.
What's actually interesting is most of the entrepreneurs that you come across, about 80 to 90% of them actually did door-to-door sales. That's what's really interesting.
Well, 70% of billionaires
even billionaires
did some kind of door-to-door sales. I was actually watching the founder of Uggs, the Australian guy, how he actually came up with that idea of marketing it in the United States. As a matter of fact, Uggs, there's like 100 different ways of saying Ugg, because there's Ugg, Uggy, Uggies. There's a lot of different companies in Australia at that time that were selling it. It was just sheepskin, right? And how he came up with that idea, he came to California, America, and he was like, no one, like he was surfing, and while he was surfing, he literally said, wow, it's so cold or whatever, and he started putting on sheepskin. And no one was doing that. He's like, bing! So he went trying to sell it to different retailers. They didn't want it. And what he eventually did was started to sell it to different surf clubs and stuff like that. And he started to create a brand. And what he was doing was going door to door on the whole coast of California.
Wow.
And the company did $2 billion, almost $2 billion in sales last year. I mean, $2 billion company. That's a lot of freaking money. They're doing a lot. It's the most ugliest freaking boots I've ever seen. I call them bare feet. And all he did was go door to door, from store to store, every floor to floor, and guess what? He created success. You like that, right? Door to door, floor to floor, store to store, baby. So, talk to me about the door-to-door game and how you actually do not enjoy it, because I know you hate it. You actually hate it more than anybody that's ever done it.
I actually started door-to-door at the time when he started drop shipping, is it?
So you started at 17?
No, not at 17, but last year he actually started, getting big on.
Oh, last year, okay.
It was last year. I actually came back from the military with my brother, and I said I gotta do something. Never wanted to go to school because school was never like really for me. Had an entrepreneurial mindset. So you gave me an opportunity, and I said, you know what, I'll take it. And I went.
Now, was that easy on you?
Oh no.
I mean, you're my brother, so I had to go what? Twice as hard as I would for anybody else. Okay.
Yeah, it was very hard.
And do you know, like, why do you think I went hard on you?
Well, one, because you love me, and one, you want the best for me, and you know that I trust you, and whenever you told me to do something, I always did it because I knew that you only wanted the best for me. Why you went hard on me? Because you knew that when you go through hard things in life, you eventually prosper from that.
Correct. Did you go through some hard stuff?
Hell yeah.
In the past 6 to 8 months?
Losing $3,000 as a 16-year-old on Facebook. It's pretty hard.
Facebook just made, Mark Zuckerberg just made $3,000 off your ass. How'd you feel that day? Did you make your money back? Yes, you did, right? You figured it out. So it's part of going through the process. That's amazing. So you decided to go through door to door, and you kind of stopped for a little bit.
I actually did, yeah. I actually, went up like this. I was doing really good. I was
You were making
$2,000 a week, $3,000 a week, and I just stopped. I was like, this is really affecting my mind.
Now hold on, 21 years old. You were 21 last year.
Yeah.
You were making $2,000-$3,000 a week. Profit, not revenue, net, like
profit.
Cash money coming into your pocket into direct deposit every Wednesday. So what made you say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore? Because you kind of stopped for a little bit, then you went right back into it not too long ago without anyone pushing. You just decided to just, hey Mike, let me get a tablet and go make some sales. I'm like,
what it was I was doing door to door, and it was really affecting my mindset. I was starting to become very like this is not for me, and I started overthinking about different type of stuff. I was like, I want to do something different. And I was looking, and I eventually came across tech work. And And what ended up happening was I realized by being a technician, you go to different people's homes. You're talking to people at the end of the day. Door to door is the same thing. It's just that with door to door, you'll have people who will say no. You'll obviously have to go through the no's to get to the yeses. And when that clicked in my head, I was like, there's no difference in what I'm doing now. Now I'm just talking to a customer and he's just one of the cool ones. I gotta go and find the cool ones and close a deal.
That's awesome. And you're still going door to door as a technician, because you're going from one house to set up their stuff, to another house to set up their stuff, to another house to set them up. You might as well
and
just...
I realized that every single customer is different. They have a different lifestyle, different way of thinking, different mentalities, different hospitalities. And I said, I mean, it's the same thing. Just go door to door, go through the numbers, and eventually you come across the good one who will actually want to close a deal with you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me ask you a question, okay? Hearing a 17-year-old making 100 grand plus in revenue in a week, and hearing yourself making $2,000 to $3,000 a week, where do you see yourself going in the future? Because obviously, fear, doubt, and worry controls a lot of young people's minds. I remember when I was 17 years old, I was lost in the sauce. I was so lost, I was so confused, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was like, I gotta do something. And at 19 years old, I met a mentor, a coach, that said, hey, I'm gonna invest my time with you, shut up and listen. And if you shut up and listen, I'll help you. If you don't shut up and listen, so guess what I did? I shut up and listened. And it took me to a world of entrepreneurship. And I started to learn a lot. I started to become little by little, step by step successful in my own head. I started to believe in myself, right? And someone believed in me. So what would you recommend some of the younger cats that listen to our podcast that are 16, 17, 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old? What would you recommend? And I'm gonna start with you, because it's very important for them to understand that you don't become successful in one day. It takes time. And even though you're 17, you have not created your biggest year yet. And you have not created your biggest year yet. As a matter of fact, we just had a massive year last year. And we grew in 3 months 5 times what we've done last year. Like, we're about to crush our goals this year to levels that are unimaginable, okay? We're about to hit $10 million in revenue next year, all because of the power of the bamboo tree, which is the compound effect. So what would you recommend some of the younger cats? What would you recommend them to do? What would you recommend them to think when it comes to, business, entrepreneurship? Because they're thinking right now, they're lost, they're confused. What kind of advice would you give them?
Mindset. That's what it really is. You have to read books. You have to disassociate yourself from the people who are negative-minded people. They say that the 5 people that you hang around the most that's how you're gonna be thinking. You're gonna be thinking just like them. And I had a lot of bad friends. Smoking weed, we were getting arrested, we were doing stupid stuff, and I just disassociated myself from them, and what ended up happening was very powerful. My whole life changed. After that, I took the next step to start educating myself, because if I'm not going to school, I'm not putting something positive into my head, then what am I putting into my head? So I started to read books, I started to be around you more because your energy was very positive. And then I started to watch videos and podcasts and audios, and everywhere I was going, it started to become a very big crave to educate myself. And from that, I just started to see big changes, drastic changes in my life. And for anyone who actually wants to change their life, that's what they need to do, in my opinion, my humble but accurate opinion. They need to disassociate themselves from negative people, read books, listen to positive audios, and just change your mind. It all starts with the mind, and then the how, it will come about. You will already know what to do then and there.
100%. That's awesome. What would you recommend for some of these young cats?
Yeah, some of the same tactics. So what you're talking about is the law of association. The top 5 people that you hang around. Let's say you hang around 5 broke people, guess who's gonna be the 6th? You. So if you hang around with 5 rich people, who's gonna be the next? You. So you gotta hang around with people. If you take the 5 people you hang around with most and combine their incomes on an average, that's probably gonna be your income. So if you hang around with people, and if you don't know any people, podcasts, books, as you said, that's what I did. I didn't know any millionaires. I was like 16 years old. So what I did, I watched YouTube videos, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, bought these books and stuff like that, and educated myself, and just started hanging around with the right crowd, but through an online presence, kind of. Get a mentorship, buy a course. There's so many ways. There's no excuse in 2019 not to.
You had ghost mentors. I mean, I had a
ghost mentor.
My ghost mentor right now is Patrick Bet-David, Grant Cardone, and Gary Vee. I mean, I'm studying a lot from these 3 amazing men. Now, I got a chance to sit down with Patrick Bet-David for about 30 minutes. He gave me a one-on-one coaching on some of the things I needed to implement in my business. And last year, September, we implemented it, and our company just quadrupled, all because of the things that we've learned from people that are way better than us. okay? So let me ask you another question. I have a lot of people that say, yeah, Mike, I'm listening to those books, I'm learning, I'm doing all the courses, but there's no results. What would you recommend to them? I'll start with you.
Compound effect. Bamboo tree. Those are the two most important principles you have to understand. Bamboo tree. When you plant a bamboo seed into the ground, the first 4 to 5 years, I believe, it's taking its time to build a foundation of the actual tree, and then all of a sudden, boom, it explodes.
Just don't sit under it, on the 5th year.
Well, yeah, please don't.
Right? Oh, don't sit on top of it, right?
But the idea is that the compound effect is like every little thing you're doing adds up. Eventually, it's going to explode.
Kind of like the penny double.
Penny double. Explain that.
Oh, a penny double. A lot of times I ask people, yo, if I give you a penny doubled for 30 days, or I give you, or if I give you, I got that question. I give you a penny doubled for 30 days, or I give you $1 million in cash. Which one would you take?
Penny doubled.
Penny doubled.
Why is that?
Why? Because a penny doubled in 30 days is over $5 million. A penny doubled in 31 days is 10 million, almost $11 million plus.
But it's only a penny.
Because when you take a penny, double it. The first week, it's like $60, less than $100. The second week, it's not even close to a couple thousand, not even close. The third week is still shit. It's the fourth week where everything starts to go boom and boom and boom and grow and faster and faster. And that's what happened to my business. That's what happened to me. My first year, 17 years old, sucking L's, man. 18, sucking L's, 19, sucking L's, 20, sucking L's, 21, 22. I made $38,000 in 1 year. My mother's like, get a good job. My friends are like, you stupid. They're doing barbering and shit, making 100 G's a year. I'm like, all right. I'm like, you stupid. You don't have no idea what I've been doing in the back end, in the back corner, opening my book, studying, educating. While you're freaking making all this money, I guarantee I'm gonna blow past all you guys.
Very interesting thing you bring up. A lot of times you look at these moguls or whatever it is, entrepreneurs, they have all the success, but we don't know what they.
The moguls, you mean? Yeah.
The moguls, yeah. All the things that they've been doing on the back end. You see the success, you see the money, you see the cars, the Lambos, and this and that, and you're like, oh, that's not gonna be me, but you don't understand what they had to go through.
Nobody does. Nobody does. And that's what I like, with social media nowadays. You see all the beautiful stuff. You see all the shit that nobody sees, which is the facade, the bullshit, the success stories. I wanna hear the back end story. I wanna hear the stories when you're fucking sucking on your teeth and you're making nothing. I wanna hear about the stories when your products didn't work, when they did fail. Because the failure is what relates with other people. Everyone sees success stories. I see all these young cats driving Lamborghinis and they're broke. That's not real success, and they're giving the wrong message to a lot of the young cats. So I'm happy to have both you guys here. Now, what you do in the next few years will revolutionize the industry, revolutionize what children have to see, because I know for a fact, if I saw a Vova at 17, 18 years old, or if I saw a Daniel at 17 years old, my life would have been 10 times faster in growth, but I didn't, but it's all Gucci. But I want someone to have the chance to see this. So congratulations to you guys. Don't get too excited because you haven't created shit, which is what I tell myself every day. I ain't shit, because everything comes from who?
Even Gary Vee said that.
Yeah, it comes from God. Everything comes from the Lord, and that's why I love everything. So listen, guys, I love the fact we had a great podcast today. If you do follow us, follow me on Facebook, Michael Barayev. Follow Vova at
VOVATESS on it.
And follow
Danny, XX, Twin Danny XX.
It sounds like a very interesting industry. Just kidding. All right. Facebook and Instagram. You can find us on Instagram as well, Michael_Barayev. You can follow our Spitting Fire podcast. You get the video or the audio on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all over the place. And you got us on YouTube at Michael Barayev.